God, our Creator, we ask you to guide our council to make the proper decisions for our city, enabling our city to grow both financially and spiritually. We thank thee for thy guidance. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Michelle. Who's going to do this?
Mayor Dale Masson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Terrence Rowe.
Here.
Councilwoman Jenny Sorrell.
Here.
Councilman William Dittmer.
Here.
Councilman Richard Bloom.
Here.
City Attorney James Matthew.
Here.
City Manager Vincent Lupo.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the general public, and there's only two of them. Please, Sandy, you're going to, I thought you would definitely be on it, no?
No.
Okay, the city manager.
Council, you have before you the documents for our second public workshop with respect to our budget that has been presented to you, and we're prepared to move on, sir.
Are you asking me something?
Yes, sir.
You're done?
Yes, sir.
Jesus. Last time it was a 2-hour deal. This time I can't even get my pen out.
There's 3 of them in front of you, sir.
Oh, no, but I want my special pen.
Oh.
Budgets. Okay, let's bring it to the council.
Let's get to it.
Can we send out a smoke signal for the citizens to come early for the next one?
Well,
Go ahead.
First, I'd like to thank Vince and the staff. I know we've been pushing to get salaries, CRA money out of salaries for the last couple of years, and we had, I think, a 13% reduction last year, and we're showing a 33% reduction this year, which those are great numbers. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
The other thing was important to me was I know that we have Officer Tactuck out on military leave.
Yes, sir.
And the addition of getting the other officers in, that was another big item for me, so thank you.
They are there, sir.
Yep.
Now, are we going over this line by line deal?
We can go as quickly or as slowly as you.
Okay, and we
Council
stopped
would like.
on 54?
Yes, sir. You
So
completed
we
54.
are on the police budget. I had one of my buddy officers tell me why all this is necessary. And I hate to even bother him. But I do want to know, what do we do with the weapons? If we replace weapons, what happens to the old weapons?
As far as firearms,
Yeah.
Since my
You don't
tenure-
use any bows and arrows, do you?
No, sir, but we have more than just firearms as weapons. Weapons includes OC spray, tasers, batons, firearms.
Well,
all
where
of
are
this.
all of they, do they go?
Where
Where do they go?
We have possession of them. The last time that we've replaced firearms, so to speak, was, I think we did a half dozen or so, about 5 years ago, give or take. And that was something that was brought to council, and the old weapons were actually traded in at a good trade-in value and for a newer, updated model.
Okay. Okay, so what weapons are we buying? What are we updating? What are we getting?
This coming year?
We're up $10,000.
Yes, sir. What that funds is for example, if a taser goes down, that taser is over $1,000 per unit.
Really?
So it's not that we plan to have them go down, but all it takes is one incident where you have 2-3 officers encounter somebody and end up into a drainage ditch or a mud puddle with somebody, and you now have an electronic device that's submerged and needing replacement.
Okay. I mean, do you have a list of what we're getting and giving and trading?
Well, at the moment, it's not earmarked to specifically purchase XYZ. It's more so in the event that we need to replace it, that we have the funds available to do so.
Okay.
I can ask this, I'm on it too. And
I have-
OC spray is dated also, right?
Yes, sir.
So that has to be changed
Yes, sir.
based on date. And also the taser packs, I think, are also dated.
The cartridges do not have expiration. They do have battery packs that come along with them. So that's an item that comes into that as they expire. The OC spray is a 5-year shelf life, which we actually just were able to replace a large amount of them. We were able to get some that still had a 3-year lifespan that were from City of Brookville with their disposal, their agency. We got them at a deep discount price compared to what a retail would be, and we're able to pick up enough of them to augment the entire patrol.
Tasers?
The OC spray.
OC spray,
That's pepper.
pepper spray, basically.
Pepper spray, yes, sir.
Okay. I have a real good friend that has a gun shop, if you want to have him bid on it. Okay, does anybody have anything to say? Next page, I guess. But I had so many questions here, wait a minute.
I do have a question.
Boat maintenance, $1,000. Bicycle maintenance, I've never seen a policeman on, $600.
Yes, sir, and again, fortunately, with the amount that we have it to use it, we typically don't use that line item very often because the maintenance values that come in are not there. We do have 3 functional bicycles, 2 of which were donated by Dade City Police Department a couple years ago, that we've rehabbed out of that. And it is our intention to get some people out in the neighborhoods on them on the weekends.
Great idea. Do you have 54 in front of you?
So
Page 54.
Mayor.
2653. 2653 is the police budget.
2653.
Okay, 2653 aircraft.
Okay, if you had to cut something off that budget, what would it be?
Well, if I might, Mayor,
Oh, no.
if I might, sir,
No. We're getting this down.
no, sir, you're not getting it down from the section that you would like to get it down from the ad valorem side.
Well, can we let the officer answer the question?
My answer to
If
that
you
would,
just had to.
my answer to that would be, it would depend on what you wanted to sacrifice to get it down.
What is the least sacrificial lamb on here?
I don't know.
Mayor, it's irrelevant. It's not being paid from ad valorem funds. They come from other sources that don't affect the
So
line.
if I cut 10,000 off here, it won't affect the,
Absolutely not.
okay, go to the next. I'm trying to get the citizens. to
Sorry,
make
sir.
We're on 54 or something else for you, Mr. Koch, Officer Koch. Anybody on 54? Fire Department,
2753.
2753.
I have a question on the, it's 55. That's
Okay.
medical director? What is that about? It's 428.
Medical equipment?
Talking about the medical director.
305.
Go ahead.
Good evening, council.
Operating expenditures, 305.
So our medical director is
Yes.
required by the state of Florida. We're a BLS agency, we're a basic life support agency. We carry such things as Narcan, sodium chloride, and stuff like that. We are required to have a medical director on our staff who sets our protocols, who tells us what we can do, how we get refusals, and all on that side. Our current medical director is Charles Boothby, who's also the Pasco County, Zephyrhills, and Newport Cheese medical director. The $1,500 budget for that medical director is very minimal. I work at Medford as public relations, and we pay our medical director close to $22,000. So $1,500 is a measly expense for the liability he has, because if I do something on call, it's on his medical license.
And it is a requirement.
It's a requirement by the Florida Department of Health.
Thank you.
No said.
Business is gonna push this through no matter what. Now tell me when I get to where the citizens get a break.
Every
There
day,
has to be
every day
something.
they're here, they get a break, sir.
Okay. Aaron, what was the millage rate last year?
The current rate that we have now is 5.7518.
And what do we have in this budget?
5.8392. I'm sorry, 5.8293.
5.8293.
829.
0.0775 is the number you're looking for, sir.
That's what's the
That's the
difference?
difference, and that
Point what? 0?
775 is
7 thousandths.
7,000.
Right.
7,000.
And how many, what does that translate to in money?
It equates to approximately $7.75 per 100,000 value after homestead, or approximately a cup of coffee a month.
From Starbucks.
How much does that equate to in money?
About $22,000.
Okay, so that's what we're shooting for, $22,001. Pick your poison. All right, next. And next time, could you guys code this like in red and blue so we know which ones affect the citizen? Okay, anybody else? You can't have fun, you shouldn't be here. Let's see where we're at.
I do have a question regarding the fire department. We do have an old fire engine, and the guys are gonna at some point need one. Where are we saving? And are we doing a lot of expense with trying to keep the old machine?
We can speak to the fire engine. In fact, we just had a long conversation with a leasing institution with respect to our fire engine.
Good evening again. Our current situation on our fire trucks, we currently have a 1999 KME fire truck and a 2008 E1 fire truck. The NFPA recommendation is a 10-year frontline service life. We can sometimes get a little bit longer. Our current 2008 fire truck, unfortunately, is costing a lot in repairs recently. We bought a demo fire truck because we were in desperate need in 2009. If you can remember, we were in a significant need for a fire truck, so we had to replace a 1982 fire truck in 2009. So we were in a need to get a fire truck quick because the lead out time, the build time on a fire truck is roughly about 9 to 12 months. We needed a truck quicker than that. We purchased a truck that was a demo truck, so we didn't really have a say on infrastructure. Unfortunately, because we got a truck that the front axle on it comes from Ireland, if you believe that or not. Currently, we're waiting on a seal kit to come from Ireland. They no longer provide that axle. We're working with E1 to rectify that situation on their behalf. But we do have the option of leasing a fire truck. The lease ends up on this in 2 more budget cycles. Their leasing agency we spoke to does have the option to where what we could do is not necessarily defer, but postpone payment for 1 budget cycle. We are going to be ending this year, if you look on your penny for Pasco, this will be the last year we're going to be completing the air pack upgrade for our air packs, which is making us NFPA compliant on our air pack upgrades, which are required for firefighters to wear inside structures. It's what gives us the breathing air. And that will initially free up that money next budget year in penny for Pasco to essentially make 2 payments and not increase the budget at all on a fire truck. Because and then once the 1 payment's completed, then we've already had that budget.
Yeah, so to answer your question, we are working the problem, we're aware of the issues. It is our belief that the following year's budget cycle will allow us the latitude to be able to make the leasing arrangements for a new vehicle.
Are we better off leasing than buying?
That is a determination that we'll make at as soon as we get some pricing in. but the leasing efforts are substantially less than the total purchase. Purchases are $300,000, $400,000, depending upon the way it's packed
We're
out.
currently looking into fire apparatus, and we were gonna come to you, the council, to say, can we start, because like I said, it takes 9 to 12 months to get these trucks built. So there's nothing that says we can't really start window shopping per se now. Being fiscally responsible, not getting so-called bells and whistles as people say on the fire trucks. You're looking anywhere between $450,000 to $475,000 for a fire truck. And that's, an NFPA compliant engine not getting. a
That's
lot of that.
purchase.
That's purchase, yeah, upfront it'd be $450,000 to $475,000. With an increase coming next year because of the tariff on aluminum. So there'll be a 3% increase next year.
So at that point in time, ma'am, depending upon how new development is coming in, what fire impact fees we may be charging new groups coming in, we will then come back to council and we'll make a separate assessment internally, come back to council, and at council's direction with respect to lease or buy.
Do we get options for maintenance packages in those lease programs?
Generally, most lease programs are complete
And most fire trucks purchased actually come with a year bumper to bumper, say, warranty on them. Most, we got one on this truck that unfortunately, we're in year 10.
Yeah.
But, not wear and tear things, not.
No,
not tires and stuff, but not
right,
maintenance.
other issues.
And also, we do also have the option, we've got a 1999 fire truck that is in fair condition to be somebody's, in a rural area that's not gonna run that often. Then we do have the option to
Sell that off.
that fire truck off and recoup some of that money that.
Yeah, complete leases operations are generally with police vehicles. That's something else that we're looking at too.
We have quite a few options we can propose to you guys.
Thank you.
Is this expenditure or revenue? The page 57 or whatever the translation is here. Expenditure? So it's all, this is grants. Yeah, it says grant. Is that correct? So we went from 159,467 to 792,000 in grants? Good job. Very good job, all of you, seriously. Okay,
Mr. Mayor.
so I don't guess you can cut
Well,
any of that
well,
off.
just one question is on, with your fire department,
Yes, sir.
the vehicle expense.
Yes, sir.
465 under operating expenditures. It went from 10,000 to 20,000. Is that what you're referring to in terms of having to add additional funds to, for maintenance and to fix the fire truck? Is that
Yes,
what
sir.
that-
We're actually anticipating an expense come up here of roughly $5,000 that we're gonna be looking at doing to do the seal kit. So, initially $5,000, that $20,000 is already taken up
Okay.
in our budget, initially for next year. So it is including
This one is,
significant cost increase. 'Cause
Is that
as
yeah, that's
as it
where the
ages,
store at.
more and more mechanical things break.
Understandable.
And that's just what we're expensing for it, that's not our cost. We're just-
Correct.
Right.
That's what we're
Yeah.
expensing for, so we keep
Yeah.
our fingers crossed that.
It's less.
It's less, right.
Yeah, it's less, but not more.
And that's the 10-year-old truck, not the 20-year-old truck.
But if
Yes,
you
ma'am,
look
that's
back to
the
2017-18, it was at 25,
Yeah, it
So-
did go down last year.
so it dropped.
And then it went
Yeah.
back up.
That's a lot of maintenance.
Well, it went up.
It's a lot of vehicle.
Good work, staff. That's a lot of money.
And to assure you guys, we do preventative maintenance on our fire apparatus, so we're not in a reactive state. We do preventative maintenance. The downfall to this is that a lot of these newer trucks have the DEF, with the EPA guidelines, and they got clog filters because they don't run long distances. We run it 2 miles down the road,
Shut it.
2 miles home. So, any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Where's your budget?
My budget's on page 55 on the current page that I have. That's the general fund. And it's-
It's right after the police department.
You guys got me all rattled. Okay, fire department. Does this, any of this
2753.
affect the budget?
2753, yeah.
What affects the budget number?
Salaries. There are a myriad of individual
None of
issues that,
these. None of this affects.
Not none of it, but the vast majority of it does not affect the issue that you're driving at.
I need $20,000.
I know, sir, but that's a philosophical approach.
No, that is straight Machiavellian approach.
Well, the $20,000 can equate to a level of service that we're providing the citizens, and it's $20,000 out of a multi-million-dollar budget, and equates to 7,000.
Well, $10,000 of that is just an increase from last year in this vehicle expense.
Correct.
So, because we have the older vehicle, that's costing us more money to maintain.
My point is just this. We have a citizenry out there that I believe gets a little bit of a boost if we go down. Just 1,000, even if it's 1,000, if we went down. And I can't imagine out of $11 million, we can't find $20,000. If I had $11 million, I'd throw $50 million at you, $50,000 at you. Anyway, that's my theory. Next, can we pull it with our go-kart?
No.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm letting you guys take care of this. Oh, by the way, Aaron, I'd ask you guys like fire department, public works, all the different departments, the total real number, not looking through every page and figuring it out. Did you get that?
What?
Yeah, like the police budget says $1,600,023. But if I go through this, I'm gonna find some other stuff, right? No, I'm just talking about when it says the total police budget of $1,600,000, and I'm not picking on the police, let's go to somebody else.
Talking about multiple funding sources.
I'm talking about, yeah, we don't know what the fire budget is because the fire budget's right here. But we will find that again in multiple places through here that adds to this.
Sure, and I understand what you're asking, because we report the budget in terms of funds, it's a fund structure. So
Yeah.
if you want to know how much the fire department costs
In
across the
toto.
board, we can certainly create a different document for you, but it's not represented that way here, but we can do that for you.
I thought you said that last time.
So,
Salaries, I
Pull
I
out
think
the
you,
film.
you asked
Oh,
for, I think
yeah,
you asked
we
for something
referred to
different
salaries.
last time.
Huh?
Last time for salaries.
No, every time, I just once, I've only been in this 20 years. I just want to
We
know
need
the
it across
total
the fund,
number.
we need it across the fund budget. We'll
Sure, we
prepare
can,
and get it to you.
we can put that
Okay.
information together for you, sure.
All right, you're the one. I'm just gonna break,
But
I know we're doing this, but we don't have much to comment up here, so maybe you can stoke our fire.
Lane Lee, 5713 Berlin. I don't see too many people in the audience objecting to the budget as it's presented. I don't know why you're trying to pick it apart. It costs me
I'm
more money.
not trying to pick it apart.
It costs me more money every year to live in my house than the raise in this budget.
Well, I have something very good for you that I'm gonna announce in the next meeting, but
I'd say
if
vote
you
on it,
would've-
get it over with,
just vote on it and just do it.
do it.
Well, I'm afraid we'll
You
be
don't have-
massacred for
What do
that.
we have out here that's objecting to the budget as it's presented?
Oh, they're playing, this game that Mr. Lupo's gonna
They're playing pinochle
address.
someplace, or what?
No, what?
They're playing pinochle someplace?
No, they're playing games, and Mr.
Playing
Lupo's gonna,
games.
let's just go to that.
Well, no, I still have another question, just.
Please.
Just real quick. I noticed, the increase across the board in the health insurance. Is that related to last year when we got bumped into that different level because we had one high year of expenses?
We always budget about a 15 to 25% increase in the health insurance, because we don't know what the quotes are gonna be at this time of the year.
Well, from 11.2 to 24.4, that's not 11%. I'm sorry, under building department, the health insurance employees, we're at 2017, is 11,200 and proposes 24,000.
Some of that increase has to do with additional personnel. We had
Okay.
one part-time employee that did not have health coverage. She was replaced with a full-time employee that has health coverage.
And then I remember we had a meeting with our health insurance company that because we had a high expenditure one year, we got bumped into the next higher bracket.
Correct.
So that's all related to the, thank you. No, that's fine. That was more than enough.
What's $11 million? That's what it was.
11 million.
About 11 million.
So I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
On Page 57, you may have addressed this, but I didn't, not sure I heard you. The grant, general administrative fund grants, grant expenditures.
Okay.
Now, I'm not familiar with those, but there's a number that kind of really hits you pretty hard here. And I'm sure there's an explanation for it. It's last year, 159,467, and then the proposed budget this year is 792,000.
That's the increase in the funds these young ladies got.
Grants are coming in.
Coming in.
That money that's coming in.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they did a good job.
Excellent job.
Thank you.
Now, Ms. Jocelyn, could you divide 11 million into 20,000? Nobody's got a calculator. I just want to know what percentage I'm asking you.
He wants to know what percentage of that $20,000 he's still itching about
Of
is
11,000
part of the whole budget.
11 million, just for fun.
I understand, that's so much fun, I can't stand.
You are a grumpy old man.
It's .018.
0.018, so 1/100th of a
Well, it'd be
percent.
closer to 200ths of a percent.
Yeah,
here.
if you round it off.
200th of a percent. This is so accurate, we cannot find 200th of a percent. Anyway, go on. 200th of a percent.
200.
If Dr. Bloom and I officially figure out how we're gonna donate, that would be $9,600. So you would only have 1/100th of a percent to find. I just want it to go down.
If I can direct your attention to page number 63.
Got any decreases on it?
No, sir. This is Community Redevelopment Fund expenditures by functions. I'm gonna give you an idea of exactly what we are doing.
Is that
with-
3553 on what we have?
Yeah,
It's the chart. Pie charts.
Community redevelopment.
Yeah, I don't have the chart. You don't have a chart?
It's 35 is where it starts.
Oh, he's in the other book.
He's in the other.
Yeah.
book.
He was in the draft.
Are you in the budget book?
We really need to be
You were
on
in
the
draft
same book.
Yeah, we're on two different books, that's the thing.
you got it right there.
I was wondering if they were,
It's budget book.
where they were at.
They were
63
on
on this
this.
one. I think that,
This is the actual budget book.
Yeah, she's got it for us. Thank you.
was that numbering done just to make sure we were confused more? Oh, goodness.
So, may I, Mr. Luce?
Sure.
At the end of the day, when this is all said and done, last year to this year, what percentage increase are we budgeting? Comparing the 2 years, the 17 and the 18. What's the final figure? Is it, are we 10% more?
.02, I assume.
No. What is that percentage increase?
8.52%.
Okay. So the budget this year is 8.5% higher than the budget the year prior.
And part of the rationale behind that is that we are not using CRA funds the way they were used, so we've shifted that burden on to the ad valorem side, increasing the cost.
We didn't budget that last year.
Tell me that.
We shifted the burden from CRA to ad
Well,
valorem.
that's not a real number then.
I know it.
Okay? We-
Can I explain?
Yeah,
can I
wait a
Go
explain
ahead.
this?
Yep.
Yeah, please, Jim.
When you say the budget, okay, we have numerous funds, so I presume you mean the overall budget is 8.5%, which on $11 million is a big number. Last year and previous years, the city did not show a fund for grants. We got it in, we paid it out. This is the first year we actually put all the grants in. It's the $865,000 that's creating a bigger budget, but just because we're showing it in and out. Is that correct?
So if we back out the
That's
grant
what you're-
number from the total amount.
So you take the grants out, the budget is probably bigger, a little bit bigger because assessed values went up, which would have increased the amount of 50% of the general fund income. Okay, so assessed values went up. The rollback rate rolled that back a little bit, okay, which is the number that the same millage rate creates a certain amount of income. So it's a practical matter. I don't know what the figure is, Doc, but it's not 8.5% bigger budget, okay? If you take out the grants, it's probably relatively modest amount, almost the same.
Yeah. So the point being is, it's, Mr. Lee, is it, sir? Yeah. He brought up, he said, we all have budgets in our own homes, and we all have to run these homes, and they increase every year, and there's no way around it. So if it's a modest increase, then I'm gonna make a motion to approve the budget.
I'm on board.
That's okay with me. Motion, I got a second. Anybody from the public? On an AR-15. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay, just for fun. Okay, done. No, but there was a article on Facebook accusing us of not accounting for the money correctly, et cetera, and I would like you, I would like you to just set the record straight. This is a transparent administration, and I know I
There,
showed you that.
there were several different issues.
Appreciate it.
Yes, Mayor. You're alluding to several comments that were made with respect to how funds were handled, and exactly what the issues were. And staff has gone over them line by line. We have gone back and looked at some of the information that was cast into doubt. And essentially what is occurring is that there's a group that is disseminating misinformation and showing a callous lack of understanding of some of the lines involved. And a classic example is on grants, where we budgeted certain amounts of funds to come in from grants that's being received, and there'll be monies expended that should balance out, and they do balance out, but you must understand that we are paying in advance of receipt of that grant funds. So consequently, we have to pay out first. and made a big deal about they didn't balance to the penny. It cannot physically do that because we are expending funds prior to the actual receipt. But in the end, they certainly do balance out. Please remember that that our budgets are reviewed by CPAs and then by auditors who tear it apart and put it back together again. And we have never, in recent time, had an audit exception, meaning that we have done something wrong, that our budget is wrong, does not comply with state law or federal law. So to characterize some of these issues is just a reliance on misinformation provided perhaps by former disgruntled employees. Whatever, but the information is patently wrong. We talked about utilization of funds, and in fact, what you see is an accurate portrayal of revenues received by this city in each of the separate funds and expenditures for those respective funds and for the activities that you, council, have requested to be accomplished. And bottom line is the numbers balance. The numbers balance. Our last CAFRA report indicates that we are following the law to the letter. And we have absolutely no problem whatsoever with our budget, nor our budget process. Budget process, the budget, as you well know, is a living, breathing entity. It changes by circumstance. It changes by activities that may or may not occur, necessity of what the community wants, or acts of nature, acts of God. So the budget actually changes almost on a daily basis. We get monthly reports, which we are going to disseminate on a quarterly basis at a request of council, to show you what our remaining funds are, how it was spent, and what percentage was spent. So you know that we are keeping within that guideline, that time frame for that budget year. And what we try and do is not spend the money so that we can have a carryover for the next year to keep our taxes down. Remember, you did not raise water rates 5% last year. I'm not requesting that you raise rates again this year. And in fact, we will be, out of this budget, conducting rate analysis to determine more accurately what rates, not only in our utility department, but also in our building department, also with fire and police, to ensure that we are charging new individuals coming into our community adequate rates to recoup the additional expenditures that are necessary to accommodate that new growth. So we're moving forward, and to make some statements with respect to this budget is a far stretch of someone's imagination.
Mr. Lupo, if I might, where I am not knowledgeable of what occurred here. Where are these
I can explain.
These
questions?
are
And
Facebook
What is the
stuff.
name of that Facebook?
City of Port Richey.
New City of Port Richey.
New City of Port Richey Town something? Town Hall. Anyway, that's what I brought to Mr. Lupo. I want the people that are watching, hopefully, and people in the audience to know we are transparent. Absolutely. I do not see the gentleman that posted the where is $81,000 in the audience, and I invited him to come, and if he was right, he was right. We are hiding nothing. And I challenge any of you to think that we are. And I hope that you just get off that site, because it's like, remember about 10 years ago we had John King?
Yes, sir.
The gadfly.
The gadfly.
This town hall's the gadfly. Okay. We done?
Meeting is done?
Motion
Can
to
I say
adjourn.
something before you finish? Just for the record, there are two formal budget presentations where the public come. First one says Thursday. Your vote here was not a vote on the budget.
Right.
Okay, your vote was. Vote was to end the meeting. No, your vote was, yes, Mr. Lupo, this is the budget we want presented next Thursday, okay? You didn't vote on the budget, okay? Just for the record, the
I can
state
still get it
statute's
done.
very clear about that, so it's no problem.
In other words, I can still get it down? Point
If you can
two.
get it before the motion to adjourn, you might be able to.
Okay. Yes, you may.
Sandra Spalding, 8612 Green Street. I have been coming to these meetings for 25 years. I have missed very few in 25 years. And I have to tell the mayor, our city manager, council, and all the workers here in the city that this city has never been as secure and stable as it is now.
Thank you.
And that's from sitting at many, many meetings, more than all of you have. I'm gonna leave you with that, thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay.
We have regular meeting, sir?
Motion to adjourn.
We're out of here.
Aye.
Jim's been for a cigarette.
Now we can go into it.
Hey, Mayor, I gave you more time to smoke.
That's exactly. Jim's been jonesing